Yes, people, we're here for another episode of Let the Punk Talk. As always, joined from Carl from Boxing Royalty and our very special guest today, the new Southern Area champion, Jamie Smith. Jamie, how does that sound?
It sounds good, mate. It sounds good. Definitely. Yeah, it
Good to
sounds
hear.
great.
So I was literally just Googling you to just find out a bit of your background, and I come across a YouTube video. I didn't click on it, I just read the title, and it said I come from. It was like I can't actually even remember the title now, but it was something along the lines of I come from nothing, and so I just wanted you to like elaborate that on that for me. Like where did you come from?
Um, well, I was born in Wexham Park Hospital in Slough,
Hmm.
and it's literally just a council estate in Wexham, which is in Slough. And yeah, everyone, nobody's got jobs, nobody has got any goals, any aspirations, and that's what you're surrounded by, So, and no one wants to, get out of the area. So it's a hard place to get out of, especially when you're in that circle. When you're in them type of circles, it's hard to get out of them. And that's kind of the area I grew up in.
Okay, fair enough. So I heard you had quite a decent amateur background. How did you obviously get into boxing, and what did you accomplish as an amateur?
Um, so my girlfriend got me into boxing.
Okay.
I was fighting a lot when I was younger. So I
Yeah.
was fighting on the streets a lot, and I ended up breaking someone's jaw. So
Okay.
as a result, I nearly went to prison.
Yeah.
And she said, look, she goes, obviously I wouldn't say this, I weren't saying this on the Sky interview, you know what I mean? But yeah, she said, look, you need to channel that all that energy and do something with it, go to a boxing gym, and which I did, and yeah, that's kind of where it took off.
Okay.
And as for my amateur career, yeah, I done quite a bit. I don't think I done what I could have done,
Yeah.
and that's only because I want to. It wasn't a hobby because I've done it a lot, So it was more than a hobby, but it
Mm.
wasn't an obsession,
Yeah.
Which in boxing you can't be half-hearted in it. And I think
Mm.
that's why I didn't do as well as I could have done. I mean, I won the under 20 nationals. I won the English title. I won the Haringey Cup. So I done a fair bit,
Yeah.
but I could have done more. I could have done more.
Fair
But
enough.
that's just me. I'm my own biggest critic.
Yeah, I think about all boxers are, mate. All boxers are their own
Yeah,
biggest.
well, it's got to be.
100%. So obviously you did. How many amateurs do you have in the end?
I had 36.
And how old was you when you turned over?
I was 28, so I'll be 31. So I've been going for 3 years or something. Yeah,
Okay, so you turned over quite late. Did you start boxing late as
yeah,
well?
yeah. I started when I was 21, I think.
Okay, yeah, so it's
21,
quite.
maybe 20, maybe 20. So I've been 10 years. Yeah, 10 years I've been boxing for. So
Oh,
yeah, late in terms of boxing.
So what was so after you've done everything, was it kind of something you always thought of turning pro when you started, or was it just kind of you was just to see where this goes?
Um, I never really liked the amateur style. I didn't
Yeah,
like 3 rounds. Hence look at that tournament in the boxer. I didn't do as well as I could have done again, but it's just the format. It's the free freeze. You don't really have time. It's all go.
mm,
And I think that's obviously why Zora won it, is because it wasn't all go for him. He kept his hands up, and and he caught me with good shots,
yeah,
and they were the scoring and telling shots. But yeah, that's what I didn't like about the amateurs. But whereas pro, everything is a lot slower. You've got
yeah.
a lot more time, and it's a thinking game, which is why I prefer it, and yeah, why I chose to turn over.
Fair enough. So you obviously we touched on you did well as an amateur. Did you ever get any offers from any like big promoters?
No, no, I didn't get any offers or anything like that, mate.
Okay, fair enough. So how did you end up meeting Andy, your coach now?
He was at the very first gym I went to. So
Oh,
he was at High Wycombe, and then he moved from High Wycombe. And as a case of I went where he went. It was just
mm,
loyalty, because we gelled, and I liked what he'd done, and he took his time with me and stuff like that. So you don't they're hard to come across them type of trainers.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I stuck with him.
Oh, fair play, mate. So talk me through your first experience as a professional on your professional debut? Like, talk me through your nerves, the whole experience of it. How did you find selling tickets, and so on and so forth?
Again, Andy's a good one for selling tickets for me. But obviously, for your first professional fight, you get a load of people come anyway that don't generally come. But yeah, we've done all right with tickets. We've done probably about 150 tickets, I reckon. And the nerves, you know what? It's weird because sometimes I get really nervous, but when I'm just about to fight, just before I'm about to fight, it kind of goes. It just all disappears. But I think that's obviously, I constantly tell myself that, I've been preparing for this moment. I'm ready for this moment. So I'm really nervous. But like I said, just before I'm about to go, I know what I've been training for, and I know what I've got in the locker, So yeah, it's confidence really when I head out for my first fight. But my first fight, it was my opponent changed about 2 or 3 days before. And obviously I sold all the tickets and I was willing to go with anyone really.
Yeah.
So yeah, so they stuck a guy and he had about 80 fights. So he was seasoned. They said he was like one of the toughest journeymen on the circuit, but I didn't think he really was. But he'd done some funny stuff with his elbow, and as a result, he hit me with his elbow and split my eye open. But yeah, but it was all right. It was all right as we got the win. So yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's nice, mate. You're quite a big puncher. You've had 6 wins and 5 of them coming from KOs. Was you a big puncher as an amateur as well?
Yeah. I knocked out quite a lot of people as an amateur as well. Yeah, they just kept falling over, mate. But to be fair, as you go up the rankings, some of them can hold a good shot and also give you one back as well. That's what you'll find out. They'll give you one. Oh shit, here we go. You know what I mean? But nah, yeah, I mean, I when I hit someone, they stay hit. There's not really a time where I hit someone and they don't either show something. Either like a little wink of the eyes or a little movement. There's something. I'll see it every time. Everyone I've hit has done something. So yeah. Thankfully, I'm blessed with a big punch like that.
Yeah, it's a good thing to have in your arsenal, really, isn't it? It's quite funny because. Oh, sorry, go on, mate.
No, I just said it helps.
Yeah, so for someone that's only had 7 fights, you've actually done quite a lot in the pro game, being in boxer and obviously now being Southern Area champion. So obviously you touched on boxer a minute ago, but I just wanted to know, how much did training change from obviously doing one fight, 4 rounds, 3 minutes, to having potentially 3 fights in a night, be 9 rounds and for obviously 3-minute rounds? How much did training change in the build up to the boxer tournament?
Well, there was a lot more high intensity stuff, for short periods of time, and we kind of took the whole concept of boxer, well, like everyone probably, into their training camp. So with the sparring, we got guys in and we'd done the 3 rounds. We'd rest for 20, 25 minutes. That was roughly, I think that was probably the shortest time you'd get for resting. And then we'd jump back in, do another 3 rounds with someone fresh. Or if not, the same person. But yeah, we just kind of emulated how boxer worked.
So did you kind of what was the experience like being in that kind of environment where you've just literally had a fight and then you're going out of the ring and then you're just thinking to yourself, oh, I've got to psych myself up again for another fight? Like, what was that like?
Well, I tell you what, I wish, in hindsight, looking back, I wish I sat down and I chilled out and I waited until the next bout, because I was still buzzing from the first fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everyone like cheering and stuff like that. I went into the back and I was still absolutely buzzing, mate. You know what I mean? So I wish, whereas Zorro, again, being like that more experienced, I see him because we kind of share all the same changing room, if you were, where they do the reps. We all share the same one, so we all see each other. Oh, wow. And he was sat down, he had his headphones on, and he was rested. And I wish I would have done that, looking at it, because he then got himself up again, ready to go, whereas I was still up and just walking about the place, buzzing. So yeah, I mean, I wish I would have took my time and rested and gone again. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is, isn't it? Everything in hindsight.
That's really weird that you have to share a changing room with everyone.
Yeah, well, there's like so there's like how many boxes? There was 8 boxes. There's 4 one side, and you had a big curtain in between, and 4 the other side.
Yeah.
So yeah, so then it was strange, but we all knew what we were there for. When they were a good bunch of lads as well. So so it was all right.
Fair enough. So would you say he's one of the best you've been in the ring with, Elysora?
What, fighting? Yeah. It's frustrating. I wish we had a 6-8 rounder, so we really got to see, really got stuck in and started going. But he was defensively. Yeah, he was the best.
Yeah.
Best I've been in with. Yeah.
Just a quick one, Jack. Sorry, Jamie. Do you think you beat Elysora over 10 rounds? If the board come and said you fight Ellis for the Southern area, you defend, you beat him.
Absolutely, yes, mate. I don't see him lasting the distance with me. No way. No, I don't think so. I think 3 rounds. I mean, it was good fit. Like, it was a good learning experience for me. However, I knew I had the beatings, but even when he beat me, I understood why he beat me. Even when I knew as soon as the bell rang, I knew he beat me because he caught me the cleaner shots. But if that had gone a longer distance, I would have got to him. I would have ended up stopping him. I have no doubt about that.
That's the thing, man. 10 rounds is a long time to go without getting hit.
It is. Thankfully, I ain't been 10 rounds yet, like you, mate.
It's not a good experience, mate. You don't want to go 10 rounds. Just keep knocking them out.
I know. Yeah, 100%.
Not if you do the Jack tactic for 10 rounds anyway. Jesus, you'll come out bloody. With the title, you'll be fucked for a week.
Yeah, trust me. So, moving on to the big night of Boxmania 2, you had Daniel Mendes. How did when you got the call that it was going to get made for the Southern Area title, you had Daniel Mendes, how did you feel about that?
We were kind of pushing for it. So we were kind of pushing for the Southern Area because obviously we understand that's the steps we need to take to level up. So we were just waiting to see who had it, and then obviously Mark Little, wasn't it? Mark Little and Mendes were fighting for it. So and it was a case of whoever won that. Really, we tried. We pushed it to Steve. I put it to Steve, and Steve got it made. And then obviously it was Mendes that was fighting, and from there on we started preparing for him.
And how different was training from what you was used to getting ready for a 10 rounder?
Well, we started off we jumped straight in like doing 8 round sparring. Did we do 10 rounds? Yeah, we did. I done 1 10-round spar in camp. The rest was 8 rounds. We knew we had it in the engine, but we didn't want to bash ourselves up too much, So we knew we'd have that last 2 rounds off, just off of everything, like adrenaline, just everything on fight night. We know we'd get through it. And and obviously bringing southpaws in as well. So that was tricky to start with. I didn't like that, but we needed to do it, because we needed to work and figure a southpaw out. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah, one thing I always hate is when, obviously, my gym mate's Razor Ali, and he's still doing 4-6 rounders, and obviously I had my last 2 fights were 10 rounds, and obviously being boxers, we know that training's different. Like if you're doing a 4-rounder or a 6-rounder, you're not going to do the same training as a 10-round fight and so on. And we would we'd start off together, and then literally after about 6 rounds of intense training, Kieran would just turn to Ali and be like, "Ali, that's you done. You go over there and just warm down. Jack, you've got another 4 rounds to go." And then you just sit there and be like, this ain't fucking fair, man. It's just not nice. That stuff, I'm guessing you must have been the Fring Pong twins and so on. You must have been doing much more than they were doing.
Well, you know what? They're workhorses, mate. They will. If Andy sticks them in the bag for 10, 12 rounds, they'll do 10, 12 rounds as well. So it's not a case of they work for round. They're just work dogs, the workhorses even. They just work alongside me because they want to be just prepared when they level up, step up, and they want to be prepared.
Yeah, 100%. Fair play to them, man. It's good. They're good boys. Fair play. So
good lad.
What did it mean to you when obviously you stopped Daniel in the 10th round and you was declared the Southern Area champion?
In the 10th round, that would have been a long fight. In the second round, you know what? First round, because I knew he was going to be cagey. I knew he was going to be slippery. So it was just a case of, honestly, I'll be honest. The first round, like I wasn't really doing much. I'd hit him I tried putting a couple of heavy shots in there just to let him know, like I'm here. But I wasn't busy because I wanted to work into, like getting a rhythm and then get going. But when I see him, like, because he kept dipping really low. So I come back to the corner and Andy said to me, look, he's dipping low. He said, when he dips low, chuck them shots low as well. And then obviously I started, like, I think I hit him before and I clipped and I hurt him. And obviously he was on his toes. Then I thought that's going to come around again. And then I kept pressing him, get closer for him to either chuck something at me because he's not a puncher. Because I knew what his record says, he's not a puncher, but obviously you can't take someone's record. He's 14 and a bit stone, so you still got to be wary. But I just pressed him, and then obviously I clipped him, and then I got him on the ropes, and I didn't let up. So but when I stopped him, I was surprised, elated, overwhelmed. Every feeling, every feeling that you obviously got when your arms were raised. Every feeling that a winner gets. So it was just wicked. It was great.
Yeah, it's good to hear, man. So I saw that you was at the show in Essex the other day, and obviously you was there to watch the Luke Watkins fight. To be honest, I was actually really impressed with Luke. Obviously, I just wanted to get your thoughts on it. And do you want to fight Luke in the future, the very near future?
Absolutely, yes, mate. If he wants to defend that English belt, then I am all for it. I am 100% all for it. And don't get me wrong, I'm not overlooking him. I wouldn't overlook him, no way, because he done a number on Ian Martel, and he did look good. But I'm not Ian Martel, and I hit just as hard as any other cruiserweight out there. And obviously I favour myself, which every boxer should. But I know he's looking at British, because why would he want to stay at English? If he gets a chance to fight for the British. But if he does stay for the English, then I'm here. I'm here. I'm willing. I'm ready.
Yeah, fair play, mate. Luke is actually, like, when you were saying with Ian, I thought Ian was taking the first two, and I turned to Carl after two. And I said, I think this is going to be over within 6, because even though Luke is a very slick boxer, he's quite easy to hit. And the shot was there for Ian to take. It was like jab, right hand over the top. It was there in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Ian let him build momentum.
Luke
grew leaps and bounds into the fight.
Yeah. I agree. And I was watching Ian Martel, and he was powerful. Some of them shots that I was trying, I was thinking, if he lands, that's going to work, But like you said, he let him get into a rhythm, and he couldn't catch up, and he was on obviously the receiving end. But it was a good fight, though. Fair play to both of them.
Very good fight. What did you make of the main event as well, then?
Oh, but that was a war, wasn't it?
It was.
That was a war. They just you could see Tyson's a very good boxer. But obviously that Nina wouldn't get off of her.
Yeah.
And that made for a really good fight. So, fair play to both of them. Fair play to both of them. It was a great fight.
Yeah, it was great for women's boxing as well. Obviously I know Tyson very well. I had it a draw, but I thought there was a very strong case that Nina could have got disqualified. But I feel that she definitely should have had at least a point deducted, and if that was the case, I would have had Tyson winning. What did you think?
Yeah.
Did you think at one point, this is getting a bit rough, there should be a point off or anything?
At points there, the ref could have stepped in and given her, taken a point off of her, and no one would have argued if he did. So and again, I had it very close. I wouldn't have argued for Tyson to get the nod, and likewise with Nina. So it was a very good bout. Very good bout.
It was, man. So my last question for you, Jamie, and then I'll hand you over to Carl. I just want to know: are you coming to the biggest party on Saturday to celebrate the Punk Kids?
Mate, you know what? You know what? I had a message earlier,
Yeah,
and thank God he don't watch me, like watch my interviews or anything, because it's my mate Stag do, right? And he just went to, where did he go to? He went Bulgaria or somewhere like that, and now he's having one in England. He's having it in Windsor, and he's having it Saturday. But I think I will make an appearance to you and stay for an hour or so, and then have to bugger off to his stag do. So I think I will make a quick appearance. Yes,
that's fair enough. That's good to hear, mate. I'll see you Saturday. But I'll hand you over to Carl now, mate.
Nice one. Cheers, Jack.
Well, you best bring that belt, Jamie, if you do come.
I will. I'm gonna have to prize it out of Andy's hands, aren't I?
Do you know what? Sorry, before you go on, Carl, I actually prefer the look of your belt to my belt.
Do ya?
Yeah, I do. I like it. Yours is like proper old school.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's 1989, the oldest date on that belt. He said the bloke said it was the oldest belt that they've got.
Oh, really? Yeah. So
yeah. So it's old, mate. Yeah, your belt's nice though. You know what I mean? No,
it's nice.
I don't fucking like it, Jamie, because Mendes has had it on. Stick that belt where it don't shine. Listen, I want to go back to the Mendes for a little bit, because obviously that's when I first come down and met you. And again, you mentioned Andy. I must say, Andy's game plan for that fight was absolutely bang on. Within 20 minutes of standing down at that bottom stage of the gym with you, and you remember that first Saturday you was working, he put that little pole on the floor or whatever it was, and he was going right hand, step across, right hand, left hook. And that is quite literally what happened in the stoppage. Yeah. How good is it? Because look, listen, I've said it to Jack. I've not seen a trainer in boxing that does so much for a fighter. You know, he sorts out all your t-shirts, all your tracksuits. He sorts out your tickets, sponsors. Do you consider him a good friend as well as just as a trainer?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, definitely. Because I'm sure Jack knows as well. It doesn't stop at the boxing. You know what I mean? It goes into your home life as well. Because obviously, you know, your missus and your boys, they take a lot of stick as well when you're not at home all the time, when you're training all the time. And he's always there. You know, you could bring him at any time. He'd do you any favor you want. And yeah, obviously it goes without saying that. Yeah, he's more than just a coach. He's definitely more than just a coach. And you know what? I'll tell you why he does the shirts and all that. Because the man is a perfectionist. If he left me to do it, he would scrutinize it. He'd have something to say about it. If it was perfect, he'd have something to say about it. But that's just who he is, you know, and I love him for it.
No, it's class. I remember when he bought you your boots and he come over to me and he said, have a look at these. Blindly, they've only been worn for about 4 minutes. It's quite crazy, isn't it? So you think about it. But another thing which I picked up on earlier, is you said about before the fight you're nervous or you worry a little bit, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I remember that night at York Call, obviously Andy got me the passes and I'd been with Jack in his change room and I must have asked about 50 people backstage, where the fuck is Jamie's changing room? Because I was trying to find my shirt. Mate, I walked in on Josh Gustave. I walked in on Mendes and he wanted to headbutt me. I walked in on Paul Roberts after the fight. And then I said to Tony, I was like, mate, where's Jamie Smith? He's like, I'll try downstairs. Walked in and you was literally just getting your hands checked by the board. I've come in like, up the fucking troublemaker and the board's just like looked round at me like, oh, mate, what are you doing here? But I see you then, and obviously I've seen you in sparring and stuff, and you look like a different animal. Is that the point there when they're checking it? We were right, this is fucking go time, let's have it.
Yeah. And you need that as well. You need that switch where you just like I kind of zone in. You've got to zone in. You've got to find that place where you're ready to put someone out. And I have to, and I try and find it every time, you know, and because you need that spike, you know, and obviously as soon as the fight ended, I wanted to hug him. I wanted to hug Mendes, you know, and make sure he was all right. Just because, you know, at the end of the day, we get out as men. We enter as boxers as men, but we get out as men, you know. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great way of putting it. And you touched on the sparring first camp, obviously with a southpaw. Obviously, I'd never met the guy either, Harvey Dykes. I was there for the first spar and the last spar. I want to talk a little bit about it because obviously Andy spoke about it a little bit. When you done them first 8 rounds, you were fucking frustrated afterwards, weren't you?
Yeah, I couldn't touch him, mate. I couldn't touch him, and it was pissing me off proper because no matter what I done, I couldn't touch him, and it was very, very annoying. And obviously at the end, obviously at the end, like I weren't bashed up or anything, but I jumped out of the ring and I just went and wet my face with cold water. Because I was agitated, really agitated. So I just wet myself with cold water, like cleaned myself up, come out. I was like, right, obviously it ain't that bad. I've got a few weeks. We're gonna have a few spars with him. I just got to get it right.
Yeah.
So, but all that's all done in the gym. All the annoying stuff and you getting frustrated. That's all done in the gym.
Yeah, I'll definitely vouch for anyone watching this. I'll tell you, I was obviously at the spar. There was no bashing up. It was just a case of you were obviously doing a bit southpaw, trying to work out because Andy wanted you to switch angles. But then we go on to 4 weeks later, which would have been Saturday the 16th. And obviously you did like an open day where people come down and met you. The BBC were there. And mate, that was the moment after 4 rounds of sparring, I knew you were going to fuck Mendes up because I could just see every time you had him on the ropes, Harvey, it was switching it. And you weren't going at Harvey, but mate, the spar you would have paid to watch. It was brilliant. And Harvey turning over very, I wish him all the best. But how confident was you after that last spar? Did you know?
I'll be honest, it was like every week I got better and better. And it was obviously just like the camp and you peak. And I just obviously grew confidence from that myself because Harvey is a national champion. He's an elite national amateur, and he's not crap at all. He's very good at what he does. Well, you need to be great to win an elite championship. He's been very good, and he beat Great Britain like GB. So he's very good to have in camp for me, for my confidence as well.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like I say, when I see you in that last spar, I knew. But listen, when we talk about people knowing, obviously, when you spoke to me about Mendes, I said to you that, when you get him on them ropes, don't let him out and you'll stop him. When you hit him, he'll know. Was there a lot of pressure on you going into that fight when people are telling you, or you're seeing on social media, Jamie Smith will smash Mendes up? Or was it just a case of don't listen to anything and just go and do what I do?
In my mind, as well as me saying I was nervous, which you naturally get nervous before a fight, and you're a weirdo if you don't, by the way. I knew. I said to myself I was going to smash him up anyway. I always said it to myself. So it was just people saying to me what I've already told myself, So it was just a case of when, not if, when. That was all it was for me. And obviously, it just come earlier than anticipated.
Yeah, I think Jack agreed when me and Jack had spoke about it. Jack, you said the same thing, didn't you? Just said it's a matter of when you catch him, when Jamie catches him, sorry, and not if. But Jack, what do you think Mendes should do next, Jack?
Oh, mate, like I'm very big on just like doing what you believe is right. Like everyone, well, I mean, obviously Mendes is getting on. He's like 38, and obviously he's 2-time Southern Area champion and so on. And the people will tell him now, like, oh, retire. But if he feels that he can still go on, then I think go on, mate, and do you, and don't listen to anyone else. So I just feel like he should do whatever's right for him. What
about you, Jamie? You agree?
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? And regardless of how our fight went, he's still a great boxer. It was just unfortunate that we come up against one another and it ended the way it ended. But he's still very good at what he does. He was never stopped prior to that. He'd only lost twice to worthy guys. So yeah, I think if he still fancies it, then why not? Because I think that's the kind of the level he's that's his ceiling. I think like Southern Area, so he can dabble around that for as long as he wants, really.
Yeah, I mean there may be some news soon, and hopefully there may be a rematch. I can't say much more. But listen, Jamie, it was announced today you're back out on the 19th of November. What's that? Mm-hmm. Is that going to be a defence, or are you pushing for an English eliminator or fight?
That will most probably be a defence if we can't get the English.
Please tell me you're going to call that guy. You're going to fight that guy that's giving you shit on Instagram.
Oh, mate, you know what? I would love to. Because I don't care who I fight. But I had to have 6 or 7 fights before I challenge for the Southern Area. So I will not allow, personally, this is just me as well, because he's a prick as well, I will not allow a 2-0 fighter to fight for a Southern Area. And that's just because why should he get, there's other people out there that's more deserving of having a shot at the Southern Area. People just had 4, 5, 6, 7 fights, and it'll be better as well because I don't want to. What's people going to say when I knock him out? Oh, you knocked a 2-0 guy out. you know, and there's nothing to write home about. So no, I don't want to fight him.
As far as I'm aware, he's not even eligible to fight for the Southern area because what I was told is you need to have at least 3 fights and a 6-rounder under your belt before you can fight for the Southern area. So he needs another fight for him to at least qualify to be able to.
3 fights. Oh, sorry, I thought it was more than that because I was speaking to Goodwin and he said you need to have 6, which is obviously
right. But I don't. I heard 3, but that's just you hear different things.
I know Dan Aziz. I think Dan Aziz was the earliest one to do. He had 4, I think.
Yeah, so Jordan's had 4. 3 then.
Yeah, Jordan's had 4. Well, so who's around that, Jack? You might know, Jamie. It's your weight class. Who's around that level then that you're looking at, or is being looked at, put to you?
Well, I don't know. I've not heard any names been thrown into the hat yet, but it doesn't matter who, mate. I'll take it on all comers, and that's what a champion should do.
Yeah, and I think Jack would agree. I don't think at this moment in time in active fighters, I don't think there is anyone, you could even argue it English, that would beat you. And I'm not fucking licking arse when I say that. It's just I'm stating facts. I've seen it firsthand. You hit fucking hard. Do you know what I mean? So, like you say, you've got 10 rounds to get someone out. It's like what people used to say about AJ, and I'm not comparing the power with AJ, because but if you get in the ring with someone that can hit hard for 10 rounds, you're going to get chin checked. And,
Oh, yeah, it's a matter of time. That's 100%. I agree.
Yeah, that's it. And I thought Mendes caught you in the first round, and, well, it just brushed off you. And then 30 seconds later, the geezer's hanging out the ropes like a bloody, what's it called, one of them things that used to tangle around everywhere. But listen.
You know what? I'll tell you where he did hurt me, though. He hit me with a shot in the body. Obviously, it didn't hurt at the time. I think I laughed at him. But after, I was like, oh, my God, my side. Obviously, he's clipped me, hasn't he? So, yeah.
Cracked a rib. But listen, we move on to the man on your screen. He's going to be to your left, same as me. I don't know if you see his announcement yesterday.
Yeah, well, I see you repost it and that.
Yeah, so Jack, what's going on with the punk kid, mate? Come on, tell us. And please don't make me cry. I'm begging you. Kieran told me off yesterday because we were both emotional on YouTube. He was like, what the fuck, man? On YouTube. So don't make me cry.
It's just the right time for me, mate. Like, I've been without going too much into it, because I'm going to do an interview with Tom, and that'll probably be the emotional one. But like, I've been in the game for a long time, mate. I've had a lot of wars. I've achieved what I wanted to, and like I could go on and fight and probably achieve. I believe that I can achieve more, and I could go on and fight. But there's going to be a time where I'm probably going to meet my match. So I don't think I'll ever be a world champion, but I can go on and do better things. But my heart's not really in it anymore, and if my heart's not in it, there's no point of continuing, obviously. And I don't want to come across someone that's going to be given 110% when I'm only giving like 90, and then end on a low when I can literally go out now on a high, achieved my lifelong dream, and then I only want one more. I don't want really necessarily even want a hard fight. I just want a fight that I can sign off for me as well as everyone else, and just say goodbye and thanks everyone for the good times.
What I would fucking do for Ricky Little to turn up that night. Ricky Little, if you're watching it, I will give you £500 to turn up and fight Jack in a 6-rounder. But Jamie, what's your thoughts on that, mate? Obviously, as he said, his heart's not in it no more. You can't turn up in a fight not 100%, because if you fight someone at 110%, you can be killed in a ring. So, what's your thoughts on that? Is he doing the right thing? He's froze. Yes, he's doing the right thing. But Jack, one other thing.
He's
back. Yeah.
Did you get my question?
Oh, right. Let me say that again. Yeah, I did. Yeah, he's 100% right on leaving it there. And like he says, as his last 6-rounder and 8-rounder, whatever he wants to have, and yeah, so he can say his farewells and that, because it's a dangerous sport. You don't, and he's had his 10-rounders, he's had his tough fights, and yeah, if he don't want to do it anymore, then fair play to him. And it takes a man to stop doing it as well, because as much as it's going to burn him when he stops boxing. It's going to burn him, because like me, I've thought about stopping loads of times, but you can't just and even retired boxers probably tell you the same. They probably watch a fight and think, oh, I could do it again, I could really do it, but it's a good time to bow out if he's not in it.
Yeah, there's a good saying that I've always really liked, and it goes 99% is good, but it's not good enough to beat me. And I just don't want to be one of them guys that gets beat and only gave 99%.
100%. 100%.
I mean,
True.
I've done 2 interviews this week, and obviously the hot topic's been, Jack, firstly, what is the announcement? Can you tell me? No, I can't. It's not for me to say. Do I think it's right? Yes, I do. Obviously, for the last 8 weeks, I've spent a lot of time down Pug as well as in Amersham. And I could just see, being around Jack as well, that it just weren't in him no more. And that's why it sounds quite weird. I was so shocked with how well he performed on the night, because he looked so good in camp. We're saying Jack looked so good in camp, but it was that mental thing. And obviously, where I used to play darts, I know it's a completely different sport. But if you ain't mentally ready to do anything in your life, you ain't going to succeed. Regardless of how good you are on the night and how well you perform, there's always going to be that mental battle. So, Jack, I firmly agree that you're doing the right thing. I could be selfish and say I want you to go again, same as I could have with Mark Little. But it's, I think you're already a fat fuck now. Look, you're a super middleweight. I heard you're fighting Canelo on standby.
I'm you next. I'm getting ready for that.
You're going to take my nice belt, are you?
Exactly.
Imagine that, the height difference. Jamie, what are you, 6'4"?
Yeah, 6'3", 6'4", yeah.
Jack, what
well,
are you?
when I say 6'4", because everyone loves an inch, don't they?
Yeah. 5'5", so it's nearly a whole foot difference.
Bloody hell.
Well, we'll have to put your groin guard around your kneecaps then, Jamie, so we can't start those shots. But then we talk about retirement, Jamie. What if someone said to you now you can retire, what's your aspiration level to be at? What could you retire happy at?
European. I could. You retire European fringe world level. Don't get me wrong, if I got there and I have more to give, then I'm for it. But British European, that's what I'm pushing for. That's what I'm going to push for. And it's hard because obviously I work as well. So you work as well, don't you, Jack?
Yeah.
So mate, it's hard training before and after work, and
100%.
you just need that. Well, that's why sponsorship is so important. You need good sponsors around you so you can take time out and really dedicate yourself. Because if you're going up against someone that's a full-time professional boxer, you're already at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
And I just want to give myself the best opportunity that I can to be successful in boxing.
Jamie, I sense you're not far from that level of needing to train full-time. Has that crossed your mind yet?
Yeah, mate. If someone come along and said, "Look, I'll sponsor you, give up your work," I'm like, right, I quit.
Is that not something that you're going to push to sort soon? Because obviously, in the cruiserweight division, you can stick around at Southern area, but once you go above, you look at the English fight like we spoke about earlier, Ian Martel and Luke Watkins. They're like, well, Luke Watkins in particular has fought some of the best cruiserweight. Akoli, the greatest, in my opinion, the best cruiserweight in the world at the minute. Is that something that you're now looking to push? And Andy said, look, we need to find somebody to come on.
Yeah, we're very much actively looking for that type of sponsorship, and someone that I hope will jump on board soon.
Yeah, I think you deserve. I think if you had a proper crack at it, I think because like we said, cruiserweights, it's one punch. It doesn't matter how good you are. If you can land that punch, then you're done. Yeah. Talking of sponsors, anyone that you want to shout out as a thank you from your last fight?
Yes, that's why I wore this top. So I remember them as well. So, where we at? Right, yeah, Precision Landscaping, my mate Matt. Dean, he was actually in the corner on fight night. And Enterprise Skip Hire. Pardon me?
I hope you've got shorts on if you drop that camera any lower.
Oh, mate. Oh, wait there. Let me sort myself out. It's Enterprise Skip Hire. What is it called? Red 9. Yeah, Red 9, which is Ammon as well. So, yeah, they're my sponsors for my last fight. And my boy's shouting me because I said to him, I won't be long, mate. And he's at the door now. So I've locked the door, haven't I? So he can't get in.
Yeah, mate, that's it for me, Jack. If you've got anything else.
No, I'm good. Everyone happy to end it, eh?
Yeah, mate, wicked. No, thanks for having me, man.
Thank you.
Good chat.
And
See you
we'll
Saturday.
see you next week for another episode of Let the Punk Talk. Peace.
Ciao.